And I don't normally put my head on the block for anybody, but that's absolute nonsense.
Former Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin was there offering his head on the chopping block to vouch for his fellow AFC member and Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson. Last week on a PPP Facebook page, a story broke that Patterson received $9,000 from a Chinese source. At that AFC press conference last Friday, Gaskin was almost indignant that there was no truth to that spin of that story.
They just make these things up, they put it out there, they're not held accountable for some of these statements. And I have no doubt that it's utter rubbish and that there's no truth whatsoever in that allegation.
Minister Patterson has since said that he did indeed receive the $9,000, but that while it was deposited into his account, it was not monies that belonged to him. Patterson said that the funds were a reimbursement for expenditures for the cost of a trip that he had earlier taken, and that the monies have since been handed over to the department that had paid for his trip. In an exclusive interview today, Channel 2 Headline News asked Mr. Gaskin if, when he offered his head on the block, he had known all the facts surrounding that money.
Were you privy to the fact that the monies were deposited? Were you trying to say
I wasn't privy to anything. I had no information at the time. All I was told by one of the reporters in the room is that the PPP, they referenced a post from the PPP's Facebook page, I think, speaking about Minister Patterson and alleging wrongdoing on his part. And I told them it was rubbish.
Gaskin, who is now Guyana's new and first Director of Marketing and Manufacturing, said that he knew the PPP's claims were false because they had made similar claims against him.
I said they were always making up stuff, and I could cite the example where I was in, myself and some others went to Houston, Texas in February or March of this year. We went to attend some meetings and it was a conference on Guyana. And Mr. Jagdeo, at his press conference a week, said, well, the ministers went up there to receive bribes.
Gaskin said he dismissed the claims from Jagdeo as nonsense and rubbish. The former minister said that he does not have to know the specifics of the transaction concerning Minister Patterson, but he can vouch that he is above board. He reiterated his confidence in Patterson's honesty.
I don't know anything about the transaction or anything like that, but what I do know is that any allegation of corrupt practices on behalf of, on the part of Minister Patterson, I consider it rubbish. I know the man very well.
Channel 2 Headline News asked Mr. Gaskin if he would join calls for Patterson to produce proof that he, Patterson, did hand over the $9,000 to the respective agency.
I'm not calling on him to produce any proof because I know he's a man of integrity and he's a man who operates above board. So I'm not calling for him to do anything.
Gaskin said that he is sure that Patterson can adequately substantiate claims that he had made with regards to that transaction. Minister Patterson voiced concerns and has publicly called for an investigation into how his personal financial information was accessed by the PPP or a third party. Gaskin voiced similar concerns.
It's always worrying if those officials are either government officials or they are officials at some other institution. It is worrying that they are providing information that should be confidential. I think that is a problem.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.